After a day or two of messing around with our new prismatic subclasses, I think I might have found the ultimate prismatic warlock build. When you combine both light and dark utilizing 3 different elemental turrets at the same time, it makes an incredibly fun and super effective build that oftentimes doesn't even require you to shoot your gun. I'm going to give you an in-depth breakdown of everything for this build to show you why this is one of the new best ad clear options in Destiny. My name is Amps, and if you enjoy this video, leaving a like helps out a lot, and subscribe to not miss any more of my final shape content. Firstly, we're going to cover the core of the build, which is the 3 elemental turrets. After that, we'll dive into how we're going to take the most advantage of them. The first turret we're going to get is a new solar mortar from using our class ability with the aspect Helion. The mortar will shoot flaming projectiles at targets and scorch them on impact. This aspect actually has a ton of range and does quite a bit of damage. The next turret is everyone's favorite floating ice cube, Bleak Watcher. This aspect spawns a stasis turret when you charge your grenade. The turret will freeze and slow its targets. It's been a staple in a lot of PvE builds for a long time due to its incredible crowd control. And for the final turret, we're going to actually leave this subclass and go to our exotic armor of choice, Getaway Artist. Getaway Artist will make you amplified and grant you an arc soul when you consume an arc grenade. The arc soul will shoot lightning that jolts its targets. But if we need to consume our grenade for the arc soul, how are we going to get Bleak Watcher at the same time? Well, this is a super cool interaction between Getaway Artist and Bleak Watcher, because when you charge your grenade to consume it for the arc soul, it will also drop a stasis turret at your location. So you're actually getting 2 benefits from your grenade at the same time, and that gives us our trio of arc, stasis, and solar turrets. Individually, they're all nice to have, but when all 3 are working in harmony, it absolutely pumps out the damage. Now, to take full advantage of this, we're going to dive into the rest of the prismatic subclass, a special exotic sidearm, and armor mods. Firstly, we're going to use Phoenix Dive. This has the shortest cooldown of all 3 class abilities, meaning we can get the solar mortar as often as possible. Next, I run Arcane Needle because we're going to build a lot into becoming Transcendent. So it's nice to have another darkness damage source to pair with Bleak Watcher. For the grenade, we have to run Storm Grenades because we need an arc grenade to consume for Getaway Artist. Now, diving into the fragments, we get 6 slots here, which is kind of crazy. The first is Facet of Devotion. Defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs grants bonus light transcendence energy. So when our stasis turret or melee hits an enemy, defeating them with any of our light sources will grant us bonus energy. Next is Facet of Sacrifice. When we have an arc, solar, or void buff, ability final blows will grant us bonus darkness transcendence energy. We will constantly have one of these buffs, and we will constantly be getting kills with our trio of turrets. So this pairs very nicely, getting a bonus light and dark transcendence energy. Third is Facet of Hope, which will grant us additional class ability energy when we have an elemental buff. As I said, we're always going to have one, so it's just free class ability energy. Next is Facet of Courage, which makes our arc, solar, and void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with a darkness debuff. So now our solar and arc souls do even more damage when our stasis turret or melee hits their target. Pretty crazy. Fifth is Facet of Protection, which makes us take less damage when we're surrounded by combatants. And it's buffed while we're Transcendent. Super nice to have a little extra survivability. The final fragment is Facet of Balance, which when we rapidly defeat targets with light damage will grant us melee energy, and rapidly defeating targets with darkness grants grenade energy. This allows us to even further constantly chain our abilities together and get them as fast as possible. Speaking of getting abilities fast, it's time to talk about our exotic weapon. If you want to spam abilities, there's no better option than Traveler's Chosen. This weapon, when getting kills, you will be granted stacks of Gathering Light. When you consume these stacks by holding reload, you will be granted energy for all of your abilities, and the more stacks you have, the more energy you get. Its catalyst is also big for us because when we consume our grenade for our turrets, it will transform this weapon from kinetic damage to arc, meaning it will charge our light transcendent meter too. To tie this all with a bow, let's quickly talk armor mods. On your bond, use the Reaper mod to make orbs after we use our Phoenix Dive. I also throw on 2 copies of Bomber to get our grenade back faster. Since we're going to be getting a lot of orbs from Reaper, use Recuperation to get health each time you pick up one of those orbs. And Innervation to also get grenade energy whenever you pick up an orb. Throw on stacks so you get additional stacks of armor charge when you pick up the orb as well. On the chest piece, use Charge Up to increase the amount of armor charges that you can carry by 1. and then throw on some resist mods depending on which activity you're running. On our gauntlets, I use double grenade kickstart because when we use our grenade, our armor charges will give us grenade energy back. And finally on the helmet, I use dynamo because it will reduce our super cooldown when we use our phoenix dive near targets. That's the complete breakdown of this build. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do because it is so much fun to run around with 3 turrets on your shoulder and watch the world burn around you. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to not miss any more of my final shape videos just like this, and leave a like to help the video reach more people. I hope you guys are enjoying the DLC, and I'll see you next time.